The following podcast may contain adult language. No, it will contain adult language and an abundance of salt. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking road trip comedies. Welcome, everybody, and thank you guys so much for joining us on this special episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast, where I got to pick all three movies and I went wild. I am joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds. Big T is here. What's up, Tom? How you doing, bud?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm not always here, but I'm always here in spirit. Thank you for having me on your birthday week, even.
I know. Yeah, Vader had some family things he got to deal with. He's moving, so he's got boxes to move and all kinds of stuff he's very curmudgeonly doing. So Tom is filling in. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Jude is also here.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Are these your type of movies?
I love 2 out of 3 of these.
Okay, great. Good. I'm glad that I picked good movies. Kadish is also here. Welcome, sir. Did you like these movies or not?
Oh, I love these movies.
Excellent.
2 out of 3 of them. How's your cornhole doing?
Watch your cornhole, man.
Hole.
Watch your cornhole, man.
Your chili hole. There it is.
Oh, man. All right, guys.
I lost it when he said that. Your chili hole. Yeah, you gotta guard that thing.
God dang it. So, all right. So the movies that we're talking about today is Road Trip, Eurotrip, and the all-time classic Sex Drive. So thank you guys for joining us. The first movie on our list is going to be Road Trip. We're going to get into it. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break, lube up real quick, and get right back to it. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you guys would like to support the podcast, get some awesome merch in return, go to saltynerd.com/shirts to get access to our limited time Global Dynamics shirt. It is in celebration of the classic sci-fi show Eureka. If you guys want to get access to that t-shirt, go over to saltynerd.com/shirts and get access to that limited time Global Dynamics t-shirt. All right, the first movie on our list today is Road Trip. Take it away, Jude. What is this movie all about?
2000, Road Trip, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour, 33 minutes. This had a budget of $16 million. Alex, what do you think this brought into the box office?
16 million? Mm-hmm. Road Trip. I'm going to say it made 32.
Okay.
Made
Thomas?
altogether?
Mm-hmm.
Profit or?
I mean, I'm not talking like video sales
what do
or
you think,
kids.
What do you think the box office?
Box office?
For this?
50 million.
119 million.
Whoa, I believe it. I believe
wow.
it. This was a hot movie when it came out.
Was it?
We all went and saw this movie.
Because it doesn't.
This movie was edgy as hell when it came out.
If you were a certain age and a guy,
right,
you saw this movie.
Okay.
If you've ever killed a cheetah, you have seen this movie.
See,
yeah.
So I thought for sure that nice. I thought for sure that this was going to be one of those movies that like made it at the home video when people people saw it and they were like, "Holy crap! Have you seen Road Trip?" And they go to the Blockbuster and they rented it and then they watch it 30 times because of the boobs.
This was the first real funny movie in a long time. Like for real. Like the 90s.
When did this come out?
2000. The 90s were not hilarious. Like She's All That was fine. This is
When
funny.
was American Pie?
Before this, like 4 years.
I thought that set the standard for this like coming of age comedy romp.
Yes.
Yeah, because Stifler was still in high school and now he's in college. in this one.
Right
so
on.
Do you guys know who directed this movie?
I do not.
It's Ron Howard.
No, it's
Ron Howard's brother.
Todd Phillips, who did all the Hangover movies.
Yeah.
And the Joker.
Joker, yeah.
Oh. Did Todd Phillips do, oh God, what am I thinking of? Old School?
Yes.
Yeah, he did that one as well, right? Old School. Oh, another great one.
Yeah, this was the big hit that kind of launched him into like the comedy space. And then now that he did the Joker, he's kind of like an in-demand, like dramatic director and stuff like that. But this was like his first kind of big splash onto the comedy scene. It was like, it's his humor that kind of permeates this movie.
Cool. It blows my mind that he did the Joker. Like, that is such a whacked out movie. It has no humor in it whatsoever.
Well, it's dark. It's dark. It's funny in a weird way.
It's funny if you're like fucked up in the head.
Is that why I laughed the whole time?
That's why you laughed the whole time. And you get what you fucking deserve. Tom's out there going, ah!
I get it.
He's psychopath.
I'm not alone anymore.
There's people like me.
Oh, God, it's already off the rails. All right, Jude, take it away. What is this movie all about?
Road Trip. So everybody knows that sex in different area codes doesn't count as cheating. But when Josh accidentally sends video evidence to his girlfriend Tiffany in Austin, he's got to get to her before her mail does. Thankfully, his good friend Kyle has a car. And since Josh, EL, and Ruben are such good friends with Kyle, they let him come along on the road trip. They're not on the road long before tragedy strikes, and the boys have to find alternate means of travel. Good thing there's a school for the blind nearby where Jack Bauer's friend Chloe works. Stifler pretends to be a mechanic and borrows a school bus to make the rest of the trip. They stop off to party and crash with their fraternity brothers at the University of Tennessee, where Kyle becomes a man, and the next morning stop at a sperm bank for a little extra cash, where EL has a life-changing experience called milking the prostate. Finally, the group makes it to Tiffany's mailbox in Austin, where Kyle's dad meets them. Thinking his son's been kidnapped and following the trail of credit card transactions, he tracked them down and brought his Dirty Harry gun to a pepper spray fight on campus. Tiffany and Josh have a really nice, amicable breakup, and the boys head back to Ithaca, where Josh has Beth and a philosophy test waiting for him. Discuss.
There is no unfunny moment in this movie. It's just like it's one bit after another strung along in this ridiculous story.
It doesn't drag.
It doesn't drag at all.
Nope.
Even Tom Green is funny, and I always find him great.
Even Tom Green
Yeah.
is Austin, Massachusetts.
So
What does he say to the snake about the feel the rage or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the entire time Tom Green's character is obsessed. Like the character Barry, he's obsessed with seeing
With feeding the snake.
eat like a mouse, and he keeps like psychologically torturing the mouse by like telling him about how he's gonna get eaten.
it's okay. It's not. It's going to be completely painless. You'll just be strangled to death and suffocated and eaten alive.
And there's that weird scene, like Tom Green was kind of famous for like doing like stuff with his mouth, where he put the mouse
when
in
he put
his
the
mouth.
rouse, the rouse in his mouth. When he
The
put
rouse in the mouth.
He's sitting there and he's like dangling it, and he's upset because the freaking snake hasn't eaten the mouse yet.
He's trying to show the snake how to do it,
Yeah,
and
it's like,
he's
look.
look, you just do this.
And the chick walks in, and all he's got is the tail hanging out. And for the life of me, when I was watching this movie, I'm like, okay, that's got to be like a fake mouse, right? No, he pulls that thing out of his mouth, and it starts like crawling around.
Didn't it shit in his mouth?
I don't know.
You were too young for Tom Green.
Yeah, I didn't. This is probably the first movie I've ever seen him in.
Yes, because his show was special.
Yeah. Do you remember like when it premiered on MTV and it was like, this is the funniest thing ever?
Yes.
And then like
Not to me.
like over time he became like annoying.
Oh,
Very.
yeah.
And like his fan base just abandoned him.
Yeah, this dude is a side character. You cannot have an entire
yeah.
movie based around
he
him.
can't carry
No.
something.
No.
It's just too much.
But he was engaged to Drew Barrymore.
They
were
married.
married.
They married.
They were married.
What?
Yeah, they burned their house down and they got divorced. That's real.
Nice.
Their dog saved them.
Seriously?
I hope that's
Like
true.
it woke him up?
Yeah.
Wow.
What is it, girl?
The house is on fire? What? No, I don't know. There's amazing moments in this movie. The reason why I picked it because I knew it was like a successor to
Eurotrip.
a precursor to Eurotrip. And I love Eurotrip. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna do one, I gotta do the other. This isn't like my favorite one is Sex Drive for the week, but we'll get into that in a minute. But it's just classic, funny, coming of age, goofy. It's like when they took the nerd's car and they're like, "What? You're gonna come along with us, bud?" And he's like, he gets in the car with them and they go. The best bit of that whole part is the freaking bridge.
We're gonna jump it.
He's like, I think we can make it. It's only 10 feet. Look, I can spit across it. And he's like, he like launches a loogie, and then the bridge just falls over, and he's like, so 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, we'll go 90. We'll go 90.
Yeah, they do math to figure out they can make it.
And he's like, all I said was that we would make it across. I never said anything about the integrity of the car when we were done. And they just are so merciless to this kid whose car they're borrowing.
DJ Qualls, yeah.
He's great. He's a great actor.
Oh, he's the best.
Is he, or does he just look like that?
He just looks
And
like
that's
that.
it. He just
have you
stands there.
Have you ever seen The New Guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was on my list for this week.
Yes.
I almost picked that one.
Thank God you didn't.
You didn't like that movie?
I want to watch that movie again.
Eliza Dushku, she's the best.
She's awesome. I love that whole movie.
The douche kid. But this is Amy Smart naked. It's got my favorite gratuitous shower scene where it has nothing to do with anything at all.
Because it's told from Tom Green's
He's just
perspective.
making it all up. and he looks at the kid. There's another chick comes in. Totally naked.
Yeah, looks really naked.
Like, really
super
naked.
naked.
And the chick over there's like, that's not what we do. And he's like, shh. Yes, it is. And it just cuts to just chicks and talking.
I turned to Judah. I'm like, that's how girls' locker rooms really are, right? She's like, yeah.
Sure, babe.
Sure, babe. keep that
I'm not gonna
imagination
take
going.
it from you.
I've been in the men's locker room many, many times to know that's exactly what it's like.
Men's locker rooms are disgusting.
It's horrible in
It's
there.
traumatizing.
It's horrible.
I don't go to LVAC
I saw
anymore.
this old man's ass that was so red. It was so red. Why was it red?
Why is it always the old men?
It was like a baboon's ass. And he was proud and naked and just standing there.
The old men give no shit.
They give no shit.
I worked in a spa for a really long time, and I saw parts of men that I had no business seeing. I was working on their feet, and I saw their balls. Why? Sure. Why?
Because they fall out.
They're just so big. They gotta go somewhere.
No man has ever been able to just sit with their legs together.
Wow.
We're gonna get into remember the ball scene from Sex Drive. We'll get there. Anyway, oh God, how many other bits are there? Oh, the freaking sorority that they go to. The fraternity. Sorority's chicks, right?
They wish.
Sigma Chi?
Sigma Chi.
Traditional black fraternity.
He goes there and he's like, yeah, we're the Ithaca chapter. And the guy's looking at him like, okay. And then they do the handshake and he got the handshake down and then they walk in and it's like an all black fraternity. And their guys are like, bro, I don't think we're supposed to be here. And he's like, cool, man. It's good. We're good to go.
And then they fuck with him.
And then they mess with him. That is the best.
And poor Kyle.
Are you in the Ku Klux Klan?
He's like, what the fuck is this? And he's got a freaking hood. And he's like, no, that's not mine. I swear to God. And then he falls over and faints. And everybody's, it's a bit. They're just all doing a bit. Like this whole movie is just full of those freaking moments.
So what about DJ Qualls and the big, beautiful black woman?
Oh, I love
get
it. Dude, I love it.
Oh, isn't he the cutest little thing?
No. And when the hand goes around the back of his head, and it's like she just palms his head. And it's like, ew.
Dude, the scene where the camera's just at the foot of the bed and it's just full ass. Just a full frame, and his tiny little white legs are just hanging out the butt.
Like his tiny whities aren't even tight.
I know.
That's how little he is.
He's so tiny.
And she's like, "Don't worry, honey. I'll take care of everything."
She knows exactly where the condoms are.
Behind the Old Spice and the belt.
Yeah. And he even makes a comment too. He's like, "Wow, it's really weird that you know exactly where they are."
He's like, good guess.
Yeah.
Remember when he introduces her to his parents at the end?
Oh, the end.
Hi, Dad.
Dad. And he's just sitting there going like, what's going on? He's not mad about it though, which is great.
So it's kind of funny. All three of these movies kind of have similar tropes in them, like similar scenes, because they're all basically following the same formula. And one of the formula is like meeting up with like the old grandparents or parents of like a character. And in this movie, Barry, the Tom Green character, calls up his grandparents. Barry Manilow. And calls up his grandparents and sets up his friends for like a night at his grandparents' place, which happens to be a trailer. And when they get in there, the grandfather is watching.
No, it's not a trailer.
It's a trailer and Sex Drive.
Yeah.
And this, it's like a farmhouse.
It's a big farmhouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so the grandfather is watching MTV and he's watching like all these like girls dancing around in like hip hop videos, and when he gets up to greet like the friends that come in, he's got a huge boner.
He's grabbing their hands.
He knocks over a statue like an angel.
And the grandmother's like, Harry,
put your boner away. And he's like, oh, what do you want me to do? Cut it off?
He's like knocking over stuff with it as he like turns around.
He's like, oh, this damn Viagra.
It's so bananas, dude.
Yeah, it's what? How many acts? There's 5 acts, I guess, is traditional, right? There's nothing not funny about it.
No,
It
never
drops off.
Yeah.
It never drops off. But my favorite thing about each one of these is how many crimes are committed.
Oh my God.
And at what point do they have to deal with those things? Because they steal that school bus.
Yeah.
They never bring it back.
They never bring it back.
It's a short bus. It's for handicapped people.
It says on the side for the school of the blind.
That's right. They straight up just steal it.
That was the darkest moment.
And
in
then
this
just
movie.
drive back to school.
Yeah.
In the school bus. They have no money. They get all
They
the
just
way.
steal it.
And then they get back somehow. There's a lot of fun things like that in these dumb movies that you don't need to,
don't ask too much about it.
Don't think about it. Get drunk with your buddies, smoke a bowl, do something, enjoy
Take
it.
some Viagra.
Take some Viagra.
Not with your buddies while you're drunk. Don't do that.
So we need to talk about the most infamous scene in this movie,
which
is the French toast scene with Horatio Sands.
Oh, that's so rough.
Oh, have you guys ever seen Waiting with Ryan Reynolds?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like,
Jude, you've never seen Waiting?
I used to serve. I don't need to.
Oh, it's not worth it.
I used to serve. I love that movie.
Yeah, I used to serve too.
It's like Downton Abbey in here.
I was a servant at a pizza restaurant called Franco's.
Where did you serve?
I work for several sirs.
No, but that, like, it's always weird to me when I watch these things where like the server like gets revenge on the customer or whatever. Because I did do that shit, but not to this extent.
Did you really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you get some freaking cranky lady who's like being mean to the waitress, and the cook's in the back going, "What did she say to you? That bitch." All right. What did she order? I got this.
Like, so does anyone want to describe the scene that we're going to be talking about?
So poor, I don't know if I can. Poor Kyle, right? He orders French toast, and because
He
he's
specifically said no
powdered sugar. He's like, please,
It's good.
well, he's like, I'm sorry, but I ordered no powdered sugar, and the guys look at him like, well, it has like a barely sprinkling of powdered sugar on it. He's like, I don't like eating too much sugar first thing in the morning. It's like the most adorable, ridiculous thing ever.
He's like, my blood sugar can't handle it, and I get really worked up, and then my heartbeat gets.
And the server goes, he's like in sweatpants. There's like no uniforms at this restaurant.
No.
He's just
This is like the Waffle House.
Yeah. He's in a white t-shirt and sweatpants. And it's this like slightly overweight dude. He goes back, he puts the plate down, he stares at it for a minute. And he's like, he starts licking the freaking sugar off of it.
Tongues it?
He tongues it
Oh.
full on.
Fucks that piece of French toast with his tongue.
And then he shoves it. He puts one slice down the front of his pants. And then the most epic freaking move ever. He tosses it in the air, turns forward, opens his pants up in the back, and it falls into the back of his pants.
The best is when he walks over to the table and you can see the French toast in the back of his pants.
It's like an imprint.
He's doing lunges.
He's waddling and doing lunges. It's so gross. Ugh. And and then he gets out and he takes it out of his pants and he puts it on the plate and then he serves it to Kyle. And Kyle sits there and he's so excited for his French toast. He's got this adorable little smile on his face. And he just starts eating it and goes, "It's really good, guys.
It's really good."
Ugh. I never did anything like that.
That's a very Todd Phillips humor type thing. Like he does that in his movies a lot.
Oh God, it's so brutal, man.
I'm here
It's
for the
so
gangbang.
brutal.
That's Todd Phillips. That's
Yeah.
it. Here for the gangbang.
Oh my God. What else? What other infamous?
There's the milking.
There's
Okay, we got to do
sperm bank.
the sperm bank scene.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's so
I'm gonna do
ridiculous.
a procedure
How
on
much-
you. It's called milking the prostate.
like,
Well, he asks for it though, because he's like trying to hit on the nurse, I guess the nurse, and he's like, "What? Do you have any Asian magazines? They really do it for me." And she's like, "What you get is, what you get."
Yeah, and we should point out, so like they go to a sperm bank because they need money. Like they're all out of money. They can't pay for gas.
Right.
So they go there to donate their sperm, but two of them are instantly disqualified because one just had sex and the other is addicted to weed.
with a girl.
Sex with the girl. And so Breckin Meyer and Stifler are the only two who can do this. And Stifler, is trying to get help from the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I was hoping for a little personal attention.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And she's like, she like raises one eyebrow and she's like, did you need
some
help? And she slaps a glove on and snaps it, and shit is about to get fucking weird.
But he doesn't. That's the
No.
best part.
At not one moment
Yeah.
does he realize what
He
happened.
thought
He's totally just going with it. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's weird. All right, I'm into it.
he's like, bend over, face the table, put your hands flat down, pull your pants down, and he's like,
And he's still like, I love those nylons on you. Oh, sweetheart, you are not in charge here.
He says, "Please don't stop."
she starts going at it,
His
dude.
physical comedy in this
Oh
scene
my
is
God.
amazing.
He just starts shaking uncontrollably. It's so
His
ridiculous.
face did the same thing that Arnold Schwarzenegger's face did in
Total Recall.
yeah.
It's just eyes bug out. Freaking tongue gets all fat.
It's amazing.
That's disturbing.
And the haunting thing is just they show the whole thing too.
Oh yeah, no, they don't cut away.
There's
Start to finish.
It's not implied.
She
start
even
to finish.
She even pulls out a cup with the cum in it. She's like, I got what I needed.
She's like, good job.
It's so messed up, dude.
It is. It's amazing.
Oh, I can't believe they put that kind of stuff in movies.
And then you can hear his friend Josh in the other room can hear him.
Yeah. And he's sitting there all traditionally. He's got the magazine open and he's It's just ridiculous, man. Just absolutely ridiculous. Everything about this movie is ridiculous. But that's what's good about it.
It's great.
What is this genre? What would you call this genre?
Gross out
Sex
comedy.
comedy.
Yeah,
Sex comedy.
It's something with Porky's and
Animal House.
American Pie.
Okay.
Similar movie.
Yeah,
similar.
So there's a character.
Not exactly 16 Candles.
No.
There's a character in this movie named Jacob, who's like the TA for the philosophy class that Josh is somewhat failing. And did you guys recognize who the actor is who played Jacob? Were you have any Star Trek fans?
Well,
yes.
Well, yeah, but
Just tell us.
just tell us.
All right. So Anthony Rapp plays Jacob, and he plays Stamets on Star Trek Discovery.
I've never
watch
seen
Discovery,
Star Trek.
bro. Come on.
I think he's a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Nice try, Kate.
Well,
He was in one episode of Deep Space Nine. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, it was funny because when I was watching this, every time like Jacob would appear on screen, I'm like, God, he looks familiar. And then I found out the actor who played him, and he looks totally different in Discovery. And I was just like, oh my God, that's Anthony Rapp.
Oh, the blonde dude.
Yeah,
From
like
Discovery. He's like the doctor or something,
the
right?
gay engineer guy.
He's an engineer?
Yeah,
I thought he was a doctor.
he's
Anyway.
like the head engineer.
He's a doctor of
Okay.
engineering.
His boyfriend is the doctor.
Yes, now I know who you're talking about. Yes.
What is Star Trek Discovery about? You guys are laying out some characters.
I don't know,
here
dude. There's
that-
like some mushrooms.
I've literally
It's basically
never
like
seen
road
it.
trip in space.
I'm like, what's happening right now?
That would be an amazing Star Trek episode.
Isn't that what the Orwell is?
Kind of.
I like the Orwell. It's
I
coming
do
back.
too. Is it coming back?
Yeah, it's coming back.
But it's Disney though, right?
now. Well, no.
Is Disney going to let them do the full FX thing?
Well, they're on
Why
Hulu
not?
now.
Yeah, they're
Seth MacFarlane and Disney. That is a relationship I never
combination. That's
thought
what
I would
I'm
see.
saying. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm not sure if this is going to work.
well, whatever.
But anyway, is there anything else you want to? We can do final thoughts on this one. It's a bit after a bit. So which one is your favorite bit?
Okay. No, this is something I actually want to discuss.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you
Okay.
want to talk about like the varying degrees of what constitutes as cheating and what doesn't?
The zip codes.
Well,
The peanut butter?
I don't. I don't want to talk about that, actually. But what I do want to talk about is how old everybody is. It doesn't
They're in college.
Okay, yes, they're in college.
Right.
Ambiguously, because Stifler's character has a house off campus, and apparently this giant house is his. The rest of them are freshmen. Why are they friends with him?
I thought he lived in a dorm.
No, he had a big house. That was the house party. It was EL's party.
Well, Barry had been going to college for 8 years.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, Barry was going for 8 years, but they're all really good friends with these like two freshmen. I don't think the Jewish kid's a freshman, but definitely, what's his name? The short one, Breckin Myers, is a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
But he's best friends with all these guys that are like what 30 years old and still in college.
I guess. I don't know.
It doesn't add up to me.
See, this is one of those things like a look into the college experience. I never, ever got anything close to this. So, like, to me, this is all hyper fictionalized.
I have been at fraternity parties though, and they look just like this. It's
Do
a
they
big
really?
House.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
a big
yeah.
house.
It depends what school you go to.
I
but
just
yeah.
assumed that it was a fraternity house.
Right. So he's in a fraternity, but he's really good friends with some random freshman walking around everywhere. He's not. That's not how it works.
No?
No.
So you call bullshit on that?
Call bullshit on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to think about it that hard.
See, that's the thing. Okay, there's a lot of that in this movie. Just don't think
Look,
about
man, they cast
Exactly.
Stifler in this movie. They're going to freaking use him.
it. I wish his name was Stifler in this movie.
He's
Yeah.
just Stifler in everything.
He's Stifler in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the University of Tennessee frat party was at a giant house too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But that's my issue.
Is that a thing? Do
And
they
then-
have giant
and then-
houses?
Yeah.
The TA, how old's that TA, right? Because he's obviously on his master's program. So
So originally,
how old is Amy Smart? Is she 18?
She's a freshman.
Yeah, right. She's a freshman, but
Right.
but they've been dating, sort of, or he's been stalking her for some time.
no, she's been stalking him.
Yeah.
No.
He's talking about
I'm talking
Jacob.
about the Jacob. Yeah, he's
Oh,
been stalking
yeah.
her for years. It sounds like.
So Crispin Glover was originally supposed to play the TA role. Like he's much older than Anthony Rapp is.
And creepier.
Yeah, and creepier. and so like you know the whole thing was like he wasn't stalking her for years. He was stalking her because she was in one of his classes, and he just became obsessed with her. And so that's why he's jealous of Breckin Meyer.
You see, Matt, that's why I need you around to answer these dumb questions that I have. It really comes together. I still want to know how old everybody is, but it matters not.
Yeah.
But this is one of those movies, like Final Thoughts, one of those movies, Do not think about it. Just enjoy the comedy. It is irreverent and it would never fly in today's society. But my God, it is a funny movie, man.
That bothers me a little bit.
It does.
Because this is fun. It's still funny.
Yeah, so
and I don't think
so Blazing Saddles.
I don't think there's anything.
Can't make Blazing Saddles.
The only thing that doesn't hold up is the VHS tape.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. One of the things, I guess I'll do this for my final thoughts, but like the main character who's like super thirsty about his girlfriend and he's like sending her tape, like he's so grossly desperate that I have a hard time connecting with him.
Well, he's 5'4",
and they've been together since they were 5 years old.
Yeah.
I've seen these couples.
It's weird, and I don't like him.
I'm glad he didn't marry her.
Yeah, I'm glad.
That's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
That would have been super cringy if they would have stayed
I
together.
do love his nightmare where she's banging somebody else, like it just in the middle of the yard at her college.
That shit is
strips
funny.
off.
Yes,
Yeah.
that shit's funny.
She's like, what? I took 2 morning after pills, so we got
After what you did to me.
Disclaimer, the morning after pill is only 97% effective.
Oh my God.
That's what you take too.
That's what she took too. All right. That guy it's a little hard to connect with him because he's super creepy and kind of clingy and weird, which I guess is kind of the point. But I didn't buy his whole reasoning of like, I'm going to go across the country to stop the VHS tape. Like,
yeah. Also, he lost a lot of his like credibility the minute he cheated on this girl.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and he's trying to hide it, which is just kind of a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about how Amy Smart's character basically like ruins a very healthy relationship.
Oh yeah. Oh no, she's horrible. She doesn't even like they don't even have a relationship, and she's like taking a bus and gets her feet licked by Todd Phillips.
He's talking about the wrong
She goes to Boston.
Yes. She's not even in a relationship with this guy. She's like, I fucked your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
just leaves
because she doesn't bother to check that it's the right person. And then
shit on the coats.
This chick goes freaking nuts. Grabs a baseball bat, starts smashing the shit out of his car, and then she beats him up. And she's in the crowd. And instead of stopping it and going, wrong person, she goes, I better get out of here.
Yeah.
And then she just bails.
Bails. Oh, Amy Smart. Amy Smart is a psycho in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Total psycho.
A little bit.
Yeah, she calls in a bomb threat just to like help the guy that she likes.
That's
to
right.
To a guy she banged one time.
She forces this guy to like get her in the auction anyway, and then she forces him to fuck her on film, and then she ruins somebody else's relationship.
She's actually the villain of
the movie.
She's an absolute monster. Absolute monster the entire movie. Yeah. She's insane. Like she is the scariest person you could have sex with.
Yeah.
She's very pretty and terrifying.
He goes back and ends up in a relationship with her because that's the safest thing for him to do for himself.
Can you imagine if he didn't?
Right.
What would she do?
She would have ruined his life.
Yeah.
She actually kind of belonged with Jacob because he's crazy too.
Yeah.
She's the kind of girl that's going to kill herself in public and it's your fault. And you're like,
that went dark.
That did get into dark. Okay, Tom.
No, nothing good is going to
Like
happen.
off the top of a building. You did this to me.
Yes,
Woo.
no. Amy Smart's life is only going downhill from here. Like this is how she's starting. Like this is.
It's scary how much you know about this type of person.
Oh, he's dated a lot of crazy girls.
I've dated a lot of crazy people. Yeah. I mean, I can go on. I mean, it's
No,
not fun.
give this movie a rating there,
Some
Tom.
of them still text me.
Oh God, that's scary.
I know.
Give it a rating, Tom. What do you got?
Oh well, okay.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
sitting
looking
at
what it
4.5 stars.
Yeah, I mean it's a comedy. You can't give a comedy more than 4 stars.
You can't?
Hell no, you can't.
What about, dude, Tropic Thunder?
No.
That's a 5-star comedy.
Yeah, but it's still a comedy.
Okay, but you have to put it in the realm of comedies.
Yeah. Is
Okay.
it?
For
in the realm-
road trip romp comedies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sex comedy. Where does this lay for you?
It's up there. It's a top 5 of this kind of movie, hands down.
Okay.
Top 3 probably. I mean, it's a road trip. It's just really good. It's really well done. It sets up Todd Phillips down the road for more. All the characters are fun. I don't know what Breckin Meyer's doing these days, but Stifler's still getting work. And Tom Green has a podcast. So
Does he really?
Yeah. He's in a van and drives around the country. Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty
Sounds
cool.
great for him.
Yeah, it sounds good for him. Just be
Yeah.
alone and crazy. But I remember this movie like I was like 18, 19 years old when this came out. So this was like really, it came out at just the right time to be awesome. And yeah, I mean, it has a special place in my heart, but it's a 4. It's a fantastic comedy.
Okay.
I can name better comedies, but this is a great movie. Really fun.
Okay. Cool. Jude, final thoughts. Give it a rating.
Yeah, I think that this came out at the perfect time for it. If this came out today, it would be canceled immediately. But I think that there's just so much that holds up comedic wise. And like, if I'm putting it in the category of comedy, it's probably a 2.5. But like, it's not a comedy, it's a sex comedy, and it's a very specific category. and for that, I mean, it's well done, and that's a 4.
So you're like subcategorizing your comedy.
You have to with something like this because of the content in it is very specific. It's all about sex.
Yeah, the raunchy comedy.
Like the thing that moves the story forward is sex. He has sex, and he's got to make his girlfriend not know about it. And then along the way, Kyle has sex, and this is the impetus for him to becoming a man.
And then Stifler gets freaking banged.
He's completely different after he like has that experience.
Oh, he walks out of that freaking house like swagger.
God,
He's got the hat backwards.
Yeah.
Sup, bro?
Yeah, and like Stifler, who throughout the movie is the guy who's like, you know, hit it and quit it.
Yeah.
And like always like seems to be like the player. He has this life-changing sexual experience, and then he ends up like committing in a one-on-one relationship with a med student.
Right.
Because like he found his love. And I don't know if it was her, but it was definitely it. And so you have to put this in the category of sex comedy. This is not
love.
Yeah, well, okay,
love.
fine. This is not Ghostbusters. this is Road Trip.
It's true, sir. This man has no dick. All right. 2.5 out of all comedies, and then narrowed it down to
It's a 4 out of sex comedies.
4 out of sex comedies. Okay, your rating system is bonkers, Jude.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Points are made up. Kadish, take it away. What's your final thoughts? Give it a rating.
So first of all, I just want to say how surprised I am that Alex chose the movies he did, because he doesn't get comedy.
Yeah. I too am surprised.
Apparently, I get sex comedies.
Apparently, yeah. This is your sub niche.
Don't ask me.
How many jack-off jokes are there? Love it.
It's because I was so sheltered when I was growing up. I didn't watch these movies until I was much older, and I watched them and I was like, oh my God, I missed out on so much.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
And I'll say this. So like, this was, I think, in my personal opinion, the least funny of the movies that we watched for this week.
I will agree.
And like, I can remember going to see this in theaters and thinking like, oh, this was hilarious, this was edgy. And then upon this rewatch, I'm just kind of like, it was all right. Talking about it with you guys was a lot more fun than watching the movie for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give this like a pretty solid, like maybe 2.5, 3 stars.
Okay.
One of those things.
That's right around where I'm at with this movie. It's a solid, right middle of the road, 2.5 sex romp comedy. Like, just go have fun with it. Sex romp.
Get in the bus, you guys. We're going on a sex romp.
Sex romp. That's going to be our freaking our Rammsteiner thing. Every time, just woo!
Sex romp. Woo!
All right, that's it for Road Trip. What did you think about this movie? Comment below. Let us know. All right, the next one on our list is Eurotrip. And we're going to talk about that here pretty soon. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break and get some more alcohol, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you guys want to support the podcast and play an awesome freaking mobile game, go to saltynerd.com/DC and download Dragon Champions. It's a free mobile game that you can download where you can collect heroes and fight them against other people and other computerized simulations where you go through this little kind of like a story mode that they have. It's a really fun game. It's completely free to play, and guys can help support us as a podcast. We've reached out to these guys at Dragon Champions, and they support us, and we want to return the favor. It's a lot of fun, and I know Kadish is like master level 80, and Vader's like, he's working his way up. He's on like 54 right now. So I think what I want to do is I want to challenge our listeners to go download Dragon Champions, work your way up to level 80, and then challenge Matthew Kadish to a one-on-one battle with your heroes, because I want to see who wins.
They will all fall before me. I guarantee it. Yeah, you know, it's a fun hero collector game. It's kind of in the vein of World of Warcraft in the sense that it's a fantasy realm, and there are all these different kind of fantasy races that you can collect characters under. And if you use our promo code SALTY in the promo code area, it gives you like a nice little starter pack with some gold and some character shards and some gear to help you kind of gear up your heroes. And the whole point is to max out your heroes to the point where you can fight against other people's heroes and get better rewards rewards and new characters and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. It's free to play. It's free to download. But like, you know, it does have microtransactions in it, so you don't have to spend money to play it. I've been playing it for 2 years, and it's a lot of fun. I'm addicted to it. I play it every day.
It's perfect for those collectors out there. All right, the next movie on our list, Eurotrip. Jude, take it away.
2004 Eurotrip, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour 32 minutes. This had a budget of $25 million. What do you think this brought in?
78 million.
Thomas?
I have no idea. Probably.
I said 80 for Road Trip. I don't think this did as well.
We underestimated Road Trip.
Yeah, I don't think this did as well as Road Trip. So I'm gonna throw 75 out there. Sounds okay to me.
Okay. This actually lost money. It made 22.6 million.
Yeah,
so
it was not popular.
it?
It was not popular. No.
But it's so good.
No, it's my least favorite out of these three.
This is
I
my
don't like it.
favorite.
This is amazing.
I don't like
Dude,
this movie.
Scottie doesn't know?
Yeah, that's like the best part, and it's uncredited and awesome. Yeah.
Freaking Matt Damon
But
shows up.
It's
Like
the first 10 minutes, and it's all downhill for me after that. The
Okay.
stupid green fairy.
I
It's
wholeheartedly
stupid.
disagree with you.
Miss Scusi. Okay. Great.
You were surprisingly good at that. You've done that to people, haven't you?
Oh, I've seen this movie before. I've quoted movies at people my whole life, man.
He just gets onto a bus somewhere, excuse-y, and takes his fucking pants off.
Just keep rubbing them shoulders.
Excuse-y. Excuse. That's all he says.
Candace almost lost it.
Candace just freaking belly
You
laughing
gotta
right
swallow,
now.
babe. You gotta
Swallow your soda, bud.
It's gonna come out his nose in a second. I know.
He's still switching cameras.
He's still working.
It's still working. He's got. Are you good,
You
bud?
caught me mid-drink.
I'll
Just
just
like spit it out over our expensive equipment here.
Oh my god.
You're crying. Oh, it happened.
It happened. We got
Aw.
Kadish. Yay. God, man. That's amazing. What's excuse-y?
It's just Tom doing
The shoulder rub. That's the best part.
because I remember that scene. And
You can totally picture Tom doing it.
then he's like, oh, excuse me. And he's like,
It's Fred Armisen, right?
Yeah, Fred Armisen.
Who I love.
He's great.
Oh, he's so funny in this movie.
But
He's
yeah,
a-
the mime. It all. I do not
Oh.
like. It sucks.
Come on,
It
bro.
He's trying to
sucks.
feed his robot family.
It sucks.
Oh, my
Error.
robot balls.
Error.
sucks.
Error. Come on.
No
Do you want to know what it's about?
Kinda. Yeah, go ahead.
robots and shit.
Scottie doesn't know that his really cool pal, Mike, is actually a really hot girl named Mika. When his girlfriend dumps him for being boring and predictable, Scottie spontaneously decides to travel to Berlin and to Mika, who now that we know has a vagina is perfect for him. Scottie and his best friend Cooper go to Europe as couriers, and the first stop is England, where they make friends with some soccer hooligans at the Feisty Goat. After a wild night of partying with Manchester United's biggest fans, they awake the next morning on a bus headed for Paris, where they meet up with their friends who are also on a Euro trip. The four decide to head to Berlin together to see Europe along the way. Next stop, the nude beach at Kransamur and the International House of Sausage Fest. With the nude beach being a bust, the group heads to Amsterdam and split up for the night. Cooper heads to Wandersex. Jenny and Scottie go get some magical Dutch brownies, and Jamie gets blown and robbed in an alley. Nobody's night goes as planned, and now that their money is gone, the group hitchhikes to Bratislava, where the $1.83 they pulled together gets them the finest of everything Eastern Europe has to offer. They indulge in several bottles of absinthe and another wild night of partying. The next morning, they hitch another ride and finally make it to Berlin, only to find out Mika is in Rome. After selling his camera, Jamie gets enough money for the group to make one last trip. The four make it to Rome for a final life-changing adventure. Scottie finally finds Mika. Jamie gets a job with a travel company, and Jenny and Cooper realize they came all this way to have crazy European sex with each other. Discuss.
This is a great movie. I don't know
I
what
love
you're
this
talking
movie.
about.
This is one of my favorite movies.
It's awesome.
I know every line of this movie.
I know a lot of. It's not where I park my car.
I had a dog that I named Fiona because of this movie.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fiona's freaking smoking hot.
Look, if I want to watch a European trash movie, I'm going to watch Beer Fest and enjoy it 10,000 times more.
You think Beer Fest is better than this movie?
Oh, yeah.
You're nuts.
Oh, Beer Fest is the best Broken Lizard movie, and it's better than this.
Super Troopers is the
Super
best.
Troopers is the
The
best.
first half of Super Troopers is great. That second half falls apart horribly. And Super Troopers 2 is the worst thing
I
I've
haven't
ever
seen that one yet.
Don't ever.
I don't want to. It would have ruined my love of Super Troopers.
It's worse than Boondock Saints 2, which is also a tragedy.
Yeah.
That's a tragedy too.
Yeah, I
Don't
agree.
watch either one of those.
No.
Yeah, Beer Fest blows us away for me with like the funny Europeans and all that. Okay, Beer Fest beats it 100% for me. I do not like this movie. That being said, there are hot chicks in it. And
Lots of boobs.
they are on location a lot, which is fun if you like to travel. And there is the greatest cameo of all time.
Yeah.
With Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Oh, Matt Damon's
It's the
cameo,
greatest
yeah.
cameo. It's uncredited.
Dude, that song is
Dude.
incredible.
Oh, I know
It's
people.
so catchy.
I know people who have that song downloaded on their playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the story behind Matt Damon's cameo?
I don't. Can you tell me? I'm
Sure.
fascinated.
So basically, there were 3 writers and directors on this movie. So the writers are Alec Berg, David Mandel, and Jeff Schaefer. Only one of them, Jeff Schaefer, is credited as the director for union reasons. But they all 3 wrote and directed this, and they were friends from Harvard College, where they all went to college together. And it just so happened that Matt Damon went to college with them, and so like they were old college buddies.
Wait, Matt Damon actually went to Harvard?
Yeah.
Not just in that one movie?
No, that was a true story.
Yeah.
I noticed you said Harvard College, not Harvard University. Is
Ooh.
there 2 different?
Oh.
No, it's whatever Harvard's in Boston.
It's like I found Penn and Penn State are not the same thing.
So anyway, basically they were old friends with Matt Damon, and around the time they were shooting this, almost filmed entirely in Prague. So every time you see Ohio, every time you see like a different European city or country, it's all just Prague dressed up in different way. And during the time that this movie was being shot there in Europe, the Gulf War was going on and the SARS outbreak happened.
Oh, Jesus.
And
Wait,
so
what?
Yeah, and so it was really hard to get people to come from like the States out to do like guest spots and stuff like that. And so one day they were talking with Matt Damon on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm in Prague because I'm shooting The Brothers Grimm." And they're like, "Wait, you're in Prague?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "We're in Prague. Why don't you come out and do like a little guest spot on our movie?" And he was like, "Okay." So like they only had him for like one night because like he was basically leaving the production of The Brothers Grimm to come out and hang out with his buddies here. And so like they had him for like 4 hours, and he came out and he was wearing a wig for Brothers Grimm anyway. So he's like, "Tell you what, I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to come out as like a punk rocker and I'm going to sing this song." And so like he shaved his head and he like got all that shit on his face, and then like he went up on
Painted
stage.
his fingernails.
Yeah, he went up on stage, and for like they shot him for 4 hours, and then he had to bail and go back to like the Brothers Grimm.
It really
Grimm
is the
production.
greatest cameo of all time.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was just like out of the blue, you know, and it was all because like he was already there in Prague, and it just worked out that way, and it was it's pretty funny.
It is.
It is really funny.
It's probably the best gag in the whole movie.
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
the best gag.
Well, also
and
that song.
Scottie doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday.
Oh, that song,
Scottie-
the song
Scottie
is
knows.
so damn catchy.
And
so
I
damn
love
good.
how the song follows them.
Oh, yeah. They
Through
end
the
up-
whole adventure.
They end up in like freaking Kazakhstan or something,
it's
and like
Bratislava.
Bratislava, Wondersex.
No one from Brazil or from Berlin will ever find me in Bratislava.
He's going to Berlin, guys.
What did he say? Said he's driving.
Yeah,
Something.
we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's just-
like there's this random nightclub that's singing like a house version of Scottie Doesn't
Yeah.
Know.
It's very catchy.
It is
It
extremely
very
catchy. And
But just like the lyrics, like if you just listen to the lyrics,
oh my, it's so
funny.
good. Scottie doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. He thinks she's at church, still she's on her knees, and Scottie doesn't know. Like
And
it's just
I think Kristen Kruick, is that her name? So like,
Lois Lane from Smallville.
Lana Lang.
Lana Lang, sorry.
So like, you know, I think that she had just finished her time at Smallville when this movie started shooting.
Wait, what year are we talking about? You're talking about Gulf
2000
War, and that was like 92,
2004, I
man.
think.
No.
No, so like Eurotrip came out in 2004, and it was probably shot in 2003.
Yeah.
So around that time, anything that anyone had ever seen Kristen Kruick in before had just been this like very family friendly Superman CW show. And then like she's up here in this like sex comedy, And I think she was trying to break into like edgier stuff. Like she eventually did like that weird Street Fighter movie and stuff like that. But to see her in this and she's like really,
grinding up against Matt Damon.
Yeah, she's really sexing it up, and she's like this cheating girlfriend.
She doesn't even get naked though. It's just the connotation around her character.
Well, he's like the sexiest little, what is it? The freakiest little sex puppet I know. Like, yeah.
Well, it's funny when she's talking with Scottie, and she's just like, I'm just so sick and tired of all the lies and the cheating. He's like, I never lied or cheated to you, and she's like, okay.
Yeah. And she's like, I know. That's what I'm sick of.
Yeah. I'm sick of lying to you about cheating on you.
I have to say that this is one of my all-time favorite movies. No matter how often I watch this movie,
it's funny every time.
It's funny every time,
and it's one of the most quotable movies that I think I've ever seen. Like the whole Muscuse thing. Muscuse. The whole Scottie doesn't know.
The robot scene.
Yes.
Oh, I love the robot fight scene. It was hilarious, dude.
Yeah. So let's talk about the robot fight scene.
So they're waiting. So they get to. They're in Paris, correct? Yeah, they're in Paris.
They're waiting in line for the Louvre.
For the Louvre, and they're like, let's go on an adventure, and they stand in line, and it's just like this ridiculously long line to the Louvre.
Like, do you guys want to stand in line at the Eiffel Tower too?
They're just talking trash about Paris, and there's this like, I don't know, street performer, I guess. We get those in Vegas all the time, but he's dressed up like a freaking robot, and he's doing his little thing. And Scottie walks over to him and he starts mimicking him to make fun of his friends and to kind of like goof around a little bit. And somebody drops some money in his hat instead of the robot's hat. And the robot's like, bitch,
you are not the real robot.
Yeah, not the real robot. This is my corner.
Jealous,
He gets all jealous. And they start doing like this fake, like weirdly choreographed fight scene. And then it starts getting real. And they start actually hitting each other. And then Scottie just nails this dude right in the nuts.
But the fight scene, it's like straight from the Matrix, you know? Oh, yeah. It's like they're doing crazy like kung fu moves.
And they're still doing the robot thing while they're fighting. It's
making
goofy.
the sound effects.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and it ends with Scottie kicking him in the balls, and the robot falls to the ground. He's like, ow, my robot balls.
Error. You didn't think any of that was funny?
It's fine.
What about the part where he pisses on his brother's robe? It's like right after the big party, he goes home, he's in the bathroom, and you hear the camera shot is of his bathroom with a toilet open, and you just hear somebody peeing. And I don't know if it like doesn't click in your head. You're like, wait, there's somebody peeing, but the toilet's not being used.
Look, I'm not saying you guys are wrong and it's not funny. I don't like this movie. Okay. I get it.
You're killing the vibe, man. I'm going to go talk to Jude over here.
I want to talk about the character Cooper for just a minute.
Yeah, go for it.
So the actor who plays Cooper is Jacob Pitts, and I know him from Justified, where he played like one of the U.S. Marshals opposite Timothy Olyphant. And so like to see like a younger version of him in here, and he's kind of like the styles or the shades, you know, like from Teen Wolf. And basically, you know, he has that line where every time like he tries to hit on a girl and it gets him in an awkward situation, he's like, this isn't where I parked my car.
Right.
And he does this thing where like he goes to Europe with Scottie to be his wingman. But at the same time, he doesn't want to quit his summer job because he wants the money.
Yeah.
And so he just pretends that he's down in the file room at this law office the entire time. And every time his boss calls him, he's like, yeah, I'm still looking for that file. And eventually at the end of the movie, he gets this other guy fired and gets a promotion because like he was lying.
He threw him under the bus. His boss called like, why haven't I got this report yet? And he's like, oh, I gave it to Kurskinsky a minute ago. Why didn't he deliver it to you?
He's like, I gave it to Humphreys yesterday. I handed it to him myself.
What did he say? Like humbug or something like that?
Wait, what?
He says
that's hogwash.
Hogwash, that's what it was. He's like, that's hogwash. I gave it to him yesterday. And at the end of the movie, like you said, like that dude got fired because he lied to him.
And he got his office.
And he's like, did they fire you? He's like, no, they gave me a promotion and they gave me this guy's office.
Yeah.
And the great thing is like Cooper's whole motivation for going on this trip is because he wants to experience crazy European sex. Mm-hmm. And the entire time, we also have Michelle Trachtenberg as part of the group, and he's always kind of like treating her like a dude, and she's always like, "I'm a girl," and he's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah, whatever.
But throughout the course of the movie, like he starts to be like, "Oh, like she is a girl." So like there's that budding romance there, but there's a scene where they're in Amsterdam, and he decides to go and visit a sex club.
Wondersex.
Yeah.
Wondersex.
Red Light District.
Yeah.
Wondersex.
Yeah.
Also says I get a free t-shirt with this flyer.
Yeah. He gets that t-shirt though.
And the sex club is run by Lucy Lawless. And she basically says, you know, if the ecstasy ever becomes too much, you need to use this safe word. And it's this long German word that they write down so he doesnn't know how to pronounce
It's like Frugerschlor or something like that. It's like
Did you say Flugelhammer? And he's like,
yes.
For the love of God. She's like, very well. And it's worse.
Yeah.
It's something worse. It's like, "Bring out the Flugelhammer!"
Yeah, they're basically torturing Cooper, and there are these two guys who are like,
who wants to go to this club if you know what it is?
there are these two guys in like black leather, like, you know, S&M outfits.
Yeah, well, they're aprons. They're black leather aprons.
Yeah, and the characters' names they never say it in the movie.
Gruber.
Yeah, their names are Hans and Gruber.
The bad guy from Die Hard. But yeah, he says the safe word, but he mispronounces it, and it makes things even worse. And they like raise his freaking bed up, and they pull out this like catastrophe of a gun with like 4 separate dildos on it, and it's
Got a laser.
Yeah, an aiming laser.
And he just sits there and they shove it. Oh my God, dude. It gets real weird. And you're watching, you're like, and then he comes out the next day, he's like barely walking straight. And
But he's
like,
got his Wandersex
he's got the
t-shirt
Wandersex
on.
t-shirt on. Like they gave him the t-shirt after he left.
Yeah, let's talk about the train scene with Fred Armisen.
No.
The creepy
I want to
Italian.
keep talking about this night because they split up and they each have 3 very different experiences. And Jamie is like, "Oh, I'll go to the sex club with you," and Cooper's like, "Fine, I'll go by myself."
Yeah.
And he just pieces out. Well, Jamie's like, "All right, I guess I'll just go get my camera cleaned," and he ends up hooking up with this girl who really likes cameras.
Yeah.
He just goes to like the camera shop and he's like, "Oh, I need something for my camera, and can you clean it for me too?" And she's like, "Wow, I was about to go have a cigarette. Would you like to join me?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't smoke." She's like, "Neither do I." She's like, "I'm gonna smoke that dick." And she's like blowing him in this alley, and he gets robbed.
By
And
what's the actor's
Oh, I
name?
forget his name.
Diedrich Badger.
Yes,
Yes.
Diedrich Badger shows up with a terrible European accent.
Yeah. Come on.
And I pointed out to Jude, I'm like, that's the guy, 2 chicks at the same time.
Yeah, that's
Office
freaking the good
Space.
for Office Space, man.
Yeah. And so while he's the robber comes up behind him and the girl's in front of him.
Yeah.
So the robber's like, "Give me your money." And he like takes off his like
Money belt
his
wallet
money
thing.
belt. But he's telling her, "Take it all."
Yeah.
And he's handing it to the robber.
And the robber's sitting there like really weirded out how into this robbery this guy's in. He's like, "Take it all, you dirty girl." And the guy's behind him like, okay.
Yeah, okay, I will.
Oh God, it was so bananas.
Scottie and Jenny want to go get like hash
Hot, yeah, they
brownies,
wanna get hash
but
brownies.
they end up just going to like a Dutch bakery and thinking that they're high, but they're not, and then
Yeah.
they freak out. Like,
He starts taking his shirt off and
yeah,
then
Now put your clothes back on, white boy.
stupid Americans.
yeah.
But we got to talk about Manchester United and
Oi!
was it the
Oi!
Grumpy Goat?
Yeah.
The feisty goat.
Feisty Goat.
Goat.
I freaking love that actor who plays
Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, he's so freaking good at everything.
I'm
he's in.
amazed how much you 3 enjoy this movie.
Tom.
I'm like over here like Pong, just like watching go like back and forth, and they're all so excited. I'm like, yeah, I guess it was funny.
Oh, you don't know what you're talking
Let's
about.
talk about the second best song in this movie,
My
which is
baby.
the Manchester United football team's theme song.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Pretty damn good.
I know, he like opens the 2 beer bottles with this eye socket.
Yeah. Just pops it open and hands it to him.
Yeah, so they go into this pub, and it turns out that it's a pub for like the local Manchester United soccer hooligans, and they're all like very intimidating. And so like they're like, "Oh, we're from the U.S. chapter of Manchester United fan club," and they're like, "Oh yeah, well, sing the Manchester United song to prove it."
Yeah.
And
He just makes it up on the fly. And it's a rendition of it's a famous song. What
My
is
baby
it?
takes the morning train.
Yeah. That, yeah.
and it turns out that happens to be their official theme song.
And they're all like playing it on the piano in the bar. And then I love the next morning when they wake up and Cecil's just, "Before you lick me yobbles." And he's just like saying nonsense words.
and then he's sitting
Cooper's
there-
like, "You guys are on a totally different level of swearing
Yeah.
here."
Totally.
And what's great is Vinnie Jones's character, who plays like the captain of like the Manchester United fan club. He has this thing where like he hates Italians. like just hates them and just has nothing good to say about Italians.
Carries brass knuckles on him wherever he goes in case he sees an Italian.
And throughout the movie,
Just in case.
throughout the movie, the Italians are always the ones that are the creepiest, like weirdest people.
Yeah, this movie is not kind to Italian people.
Oh, mi scusi.
Scusi. Oh, we keep quoting that part of the movie. We got to talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it. We're ready now.
All right, so they get into this train. I can't remember where they're going from, but they're going from point A to point B, and they get on this train to go along. And they're sitting in this little tiny cab, and it's a seat across from each other, and they're looking at each other. And then the Italian dude who he's a SNL
Paul Armisen.
Fred Armisen.
Whatever it is.
Portlandia.
SNL guy. Portlandia, Parks and Recreation. He played the Venezuelan guy. Yeah. Cook fish too dark, go straight to jail.
Yeah.
That guy.
Undercook, jail.
So he shows up and he knocks on the door and he goes, "Oh, scusi," and that's like the only thing he says to these people. But he sits down and he's super
He also
touchy.
says, si.
No, see.
And it's kind of like one of those funny things where like Europeans don't have like the same concept of personal space as Americans. So,
right.
like they get really close to people.
Yeah.
And at first you just think like, oh, like he's just like someone who's like, doesn't have this concept of personal space. But then every time they go through a tunnel and it goes dark, he starts doing stuff that's like overtly sexual. Yeah.
Yeah, he takes off his pants.
Well, it starts off with like he just puts his hand on Jamie's knee, exposed knee. And as they go through more tunnels, he starts getting a little bit more aggressive with like each time. And
I've been there, by the way.
and every time they kind of call out like his weird behavior, he's always like, "Oh, mi scusi."
And then they like overreact. No, I don't even know if they would overreact. They just freaked out. They freak out. They're like, "Oh my God." They start yelling and screaming and like jumping over each other to get farther away from him.
And when they come up to like a long tunnel, they're like, "Oh no, it's a long tunnel." And that cuts to Fred Armisen, and he's just like got the creepiest look in his face. He's like, "Yeah."
It's his face, and then the hall goes dark, and then you just hear them freaking scramble.
And when they come out, he's like in his underwear with smoking a cigarette. He's like, "Oh, mi scusi."
The best part too is they kick him out of their cab, right? They get him out of there. He's not wearing any pants. He goes down one car length or one room length, and he goes down and knocks on the door, "Oh, scusi," and he walks in.
This is what he does.
It's so creepy.
He's a serial molester. You think this is funny? Is this funny to you?
What's
Molestation is funny?
What's great about this movie is every single scene in this movie has an absolutely hilarious bit to it. Like the nude beach scene.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the International House of Sausage Fest.
And it's kind of funny because like that. So originally Jamie wants to go to this like statue that's like famous for it in town, and they're all like, "Oh, that's lame, let's go to this nude beach." And it turns out that like that time of year all the hot women go to
all of the nude women are at the monument because it's very moving.
And the typical nude beach is just full of dudes hoping to see naked chicks. And it was kind of funny because like the day that they shot that scene, it was like one of the coldest days of the year. And that's one of the reasons why everyone's wiener is like so shriveled in that scene.
How do you know that?
I read an interview with like the directors where they were talking about it. So how I learned about it.
He just went over the screen with a magnifying glass and was like, "Oh, yes, I see."
That is a small dick.
Small dick.
I was on a shrinkage blog page.
George Costanza runs it.
But we got to talk about Bratislava.
Bratislava. Oh, is that that's like the...
It's good you came in summer because in the winter it can be quite depressing.
It's just like the shittiest place ever.
So like they accidentally catch a ride to really like war-torn Eastern Europe, very poor. And they have like $1.37 to their name.
$1.83.
$1.83. And basically because they're in Eastern Europe, that $1.83 is like $1 billion worth of value. And so like they go to like a 5-star hotel. And at the time, Scottie like tips one of the waiters like a nickel.
And he slaps his boss. And he's like, "You see this? I'm going to start my own hotel."
He's like, "A nickel? I quit." It's like more money than he's ever seen in his life.
What's great about that bit too is like after you're like, "Oh man, they must have spent all their money to get all this freaking stuff." It's a joke. It cost they had like 87 cents left over.
Yeah, they all got suits made.
Yeah. They went full Dumb and Dumber for that moment where they went to the hotel. It's a good bit.
but every scene in this movie has something funny. Like even when probably the least funny scene is when they finally get to Germany and Scottie's talking to Mika's father. But the entire time that's going on, where they're just exchanging kind of like information about where she's going, his son gets like a Hitler mustache from
ink or something
ink, and he starts like marching
doing
around,
the goose stepping across the background, and they're just having a straight conversation because they don't see him, I guess. I don't know, and they're like,
Cooper sees him.
Cooper's freaking out,
trying to get Scottie's attention, and Scotty's like,
stop bothering me. I'm talking to somebody right now, and he's just sitting there going, oh my god, what is this kid doing?
Yeah, well, we're in Berlin.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Michelle Trachtenberg at all? Because she's like a Buffy alumni, and this was like I think her first big movie.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was.
Did she go topless in this movie?
No.
I don't think she did.
There is a cutout scene though of them hitchhiking, and she flashes, but it's from the back.
Okay, yeah,
and nobody stops because they're not impressed.
Yeah, they're like Jenny, you have to do something weird. This is Europe. Like just flashing cars isn't gonna cut it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I love every minute of this movie.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I see this movie, like I crack up every single time, even though I know what's coming. It's just
it's one of those comedies that like doesn't get old for me. I'm with Kadish. I laugh every time. And when they're in freaking Kazakhstan or whatever the crap they ended up in.
Bratislava.
Well, yeah, Bratislava. And they were at that nightclub, and the twins got drunk and started making out.
Yeah, so Jenny and Jamie are twins, and there's like a running joke through the movie that they're the worst twins ever because they don't he is always getting her the wrong drink. She's like, I hate gin. And they're like, you guys are the worst.
About each other.
Yeah. Well, then they end up all getting smashed on absinthe, and the two twins end up like eating each other's faces.
Yeah. And
there's a cutout scene, I think it's in the director's cut, where the next day when Cooper's giving him a hard time about it, he's like, oh, relax. It's not like you guys fucked. And they both go have an oh shit face, and Cooper's like, did you guys fuck?
It's so crazy.
Yeah, like this is legit one of Juden Mine's all-time favorite
I used
movies.
to have mail motherfucker as my text alert.
She really did. Like every time we out to eat, all of a sudden you just hear this mail motherfucker from her phone.
Okay, mail motherfucker was a big good takeaway from this because that was special. Mail motherfucker was special. Yeah, you're right.
So when this movie came out, I was at the movies with a girlfriend of mine when I lived in Ohio.
Okay.
And she's a girl, and she has a twin brother who's a boy, obviously. And so we saw the trailer for this, and they play the part where he's like, you made out with your sister, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's gross. Because I hadn't seen the movie yet. And the girl that I was with cracked the fuck up. She was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. And I was like, Kim, you have a twin brother, right? And she was like, oh, fuck. Never mind. And I think of her every time I see that.
Oh, man. It was a good bit.
Yeah. This movie, I've seen it half a dozen times, I think. And it's never fails to entertain me.
Yeah.
Like I love this movie so much.
And even when it starts to slow down a little bit, when they go to Rome, I think they hit the brakes real hard when they go to Rome. But even that part where they go into the Pope's like office or whatever and like accidentally
his, apartment.
Like light the place on fire or something like that. Everybody thinks the Pope's dead. He comes out and he's all in his freaking Pope hat and everything. It's just funny, dude. It's hilarious. And then the best sex scene is finally when Scottie hangs out with Mika and they're in the confession booth and they're banging. And this little old Italian lady comes in and starts confessing that she cheated.
Father, for I have sinned.
I cheated on my husband, and all you see is an ass print up against the freaking thing. Come on, bro. It's freaking hilarious.
It's great.
It's
great.
I can't even look at you.
It's all just pandering, slapstick nonsense humor. Ugh. There's not one highbrow joke in the whole movie.
I think this movie is way funnier than Road Trip was.
I do. I
way
agree.
Funnier.
I agree.
It came out at a different time. I was a little older when this came out. It didn't hit me like
to hold your nose up at it like that. It's not high enough humor for me.
No, thank you.
I've aged 4 years. I can't be bothered.
Yeah. Well, but
Allow
also,
me to fill my pipe while I discuss this with you.
It wasn't a theatrical success. I mean, people didn't go see this movie. This is one of the ones you're talking about where it's down the road. VHS was, or DVD or whatever was. Yeah. That's how this movie caught on because nobody saw this movie.
I guess not.
I did.
I didn't go to the theater. I didn't go see it.
I did.
He's the one guy.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice like every time someone was reading a book in this movie, it was the same book?
The Jackie Collins book?
Yeah, it was a Jackie Collins book called Sinners. And the reason that everyone's reading that book is it's the only one the production could get legal clearance to use. So they just kept reusing it the entire time.
That's funny.
Yeah, other than the Fromer's Guide, like that's the only other book in this movie.
All right, Jude, final thoughts. Give it a rating.
Oh, this is one of my favorite movies. And in the realm of sex comedies, this is a 5-star movie for me.
A 5-star?
Yeah,
Holy
this
shit.
is 5 Scottie Doesn't Knows out of
Nice.
5 Scottie Doesn't Knows.
Okay, wow.
It's 5 robots, 5 Eurotrips,
I dig it. That's
5 confessional booth sexes.
Tom, you just broke Tom. Kate, give it a rating.
I agree with my lovely lady here. This is a 5-star movie for me.
Whoa.
I absolutely adore this
I
movie.
love it.
This is 5 robot balls out of 5. So, like seriously, like every time I watch this movie, I laugh just as hard as the first time I watched it. It's fantastic. We quote it constantly.
I could
with one
watch it
another.
again right now.
We are watching it right now.
Jude actually, like while we're watching this, she will from memory just say the lines. It's kind of annoying because
I know.
like
I'm hard to watch movies with.
She's saying it right in my ear, but like she knows this movie like backwards and forwards. It's crazy, but yeah, I love this film.
I feel like Scottie Doesn't Know should be my new karaoke song.
Oh, it's a great song. I'm gonna say I like this movie a lot, but I have to leave room for Sex Drive because that's my top billing for this week. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. It's funny every time. I have not gotten sick of this movie. I've watched it dozens of times, and it's good every time. And the grotesque amount of boobs and also schlong, it's equal footing. You know what I mean? Like they give equal time to both, which I can appreciate.
Little tit for tat.
Little tit for tat on this movie.
I
Yeah.
love that scene where Cooper's in the hot tub and he keeps telling us like, "Oh, you got a little something
Oh,
on
that
there."
girl's so dumb.
She's so
Oh man,
stupid.
yeah, that scene was just
It's like-
going on. I was just watching it. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Oh, this movie is pretty good. Very symmetrical.
It's like sap or something, and it's
Yeah.
right there. You
right
might have
on
to
your
lick
boob,
it, and
yeah.
like so freaking ridiculous. I don't even think we'll be able to show half
This
of the
isn't
freaking.
where I parked my car.
All right, man. Give it your salty nerd rating.
it's a 2.5.
2.5. Okay, middle of the road.
It's 2.5. It's like I said, it's not a bad. I just don't. It's not for me.
Okay.
I don't like it. None of these people are famous. None of them go on to do anything after this movie. It's a theatrical bomb. I think it's all boners and dick jokes and gross out humor. I don't think there's anything here redeeming for me. If I had to choose between these 3 movies, I'd choose to watch this one last.
Okay.
Or never again. It's fine.
Okay.
You listening to you guys and how much you enjoy it didn't change me at all.
Excuse.
It's fine, but even that, like the few things that really stand out, like male motherfucker, is probably the funniest thing that came out of this.
Weirdest thing you could have taken away from this.
Oh, I forgot that was like part of this movie. I'm like, oh man, that was probably the funniest thing that came out of this movie.
Male
It's like,
Male
this
motherfucker.
was a 2-star movie before I remembered about male motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I'm not joking. Well, between that and the cameo, because I've been trying to think about a better and especially an uncredited cameo. There's not a lot.
Brad Pitt does some comedy cameos once in a while. He was in like
Yes.
Deadpool and stuff like
Yes,
that. But this
and-
was
Yeah, but I remember when I saw this in the theater and Matt Damon just shows
You
up
don't even
out of nowhere,
recognize him.
and everyone was like, "Is that Matt
Yeah,
Damon?"
is that Matt Damon?
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Dean Cain?
In the very same light.
Yeah.
Yes, in the very same light. Yeah. It's fine. It doesn't do anything for me. I've seen it a few times. It's fine. It's funny. It's just, it's not my favorite. And out of these 3, it's my least favorite.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, guys, that's it for Eurotrip. Stay tuned. The last movie on our list today is Sex Drive, my favorite movie of the week. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you want to support the podcast and hang out with us, go to saltynerdiscord.com. We have an entire Discord app that is open to the public, and we absolutely love that community over there. We have a ton of fun talking all kinds of nerdy things about movies and whatnot, about the podcast itself. And you get access to live streams that we do on Monday nights. And also, Jude's doing some trivia night stuff for the club members. So head over to the Discord app, saltynerdiscord.com, and join the community. It's an awesome place to be. I am there all the time, every day, chatting it up with everybody. And right now we're live streaming this audio through Discord. I think that might be a new thing we're going to start doing too. So if you want to join the Discord app, and you can head over there and you can catch the raw recording of the podcast. So saltynerdiscord.com. Head over there.
You got it, man.
Whatever. Edit. Okay, Jude.
Yes.
Sex Drive.
2008 Sex Drive. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour 49 minutes. This had a budget of $19 million. What do you think this brought into the box office?
22 million.
Yeah, no kidding. It's up there with it's Eurotrip money. It didn't make much.
It lost money too.
Yeah.
$18 million.
Yeah, that sounds right. Nobody saw this movie.
That's so sad.
It is
It's so
sad.
good.
Yeah.
I actually went to the theater to see this movie with a friend of mine.
I think I did too. Yeah.
And about 15, 20 minutes in, he was laughing so hard he threw up. And we had to leave the theater because I never finished it in the theater. I had to watch it later.
Wait, I need more about this story.
Yeah, me too.
Who is this pussy that threw up, by the way?
How do you, was he drunk?
No. He was
Was
just.
it John?
No, it was my buddy Ryan.
Oh.
And Ryan is one of those guys where like he would be laughing so hard that he just got sick and he just threw up and he started getting a migraine. And so we were like, okay.
That's wild. That's,
I can't
He
imagine.
is a
I can't
delicate
imagine.
man.
I can't imagine like if something is so funny that you just like can't.
Well, you know, my brother's an interesting cat, and we were at the movies once we were younger, and he could hear somebody eating popcorn and walked out of the movie and never came back.
Yeah.
So I can understand just some weirdo losing his mind, throwing up, and then you just gotta go.
Well, I wouldn't stay after that.
I stayed for the movie. My brother stayed in the freaking in the theater. I mean, like out in the lobby.
Once there's vomit in the theater, I think everybody pretty much has to go
Have
at
you
that point.
smelled vomit?
He didn't throw up in the theater. He ran to the bathroom and threw up.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Good for him. Good for him. That's a solid
I
dude
hope
right
he's
there.
like covering his mouth and laughing hysterically the whole way, and it's just like spraying out both sides.
Oh, that's so gross, dude. No. Well, what? All right. Take it away, Jude.
Catfisher and car thief Ian has a date in Knoxville to get deflowered by Miss Tasty. He and his friends, the hottie and the cockblocker, pack up their stolen GTO and head south toward Tasty's landing strip in Tennessee, but have car trouble near Amishtown during Rumspringa. Seth Green tows them via horse and buggy, and they wait out the night at the Rumspringa shindig, where Fallout Boy happens to be playing. Lance falls for Mary, who's on the tail end of her Rumspringa.
I apologize to the audio listeners.
And Dr. Evil's firstborn fixes up the car, getting them back on the road in the morning. Finally, in Knoxville, Ian meets up with Tasty, who's actually a car thief and was only after him for his brother's car. Speaking of his brother, James Marsden tracks down the sex drivers just in time to watch his beloved GTO get T-boned, and everybody heads back to Amishtown to get the car fixed and milk some cows. Lance decides to stay behind and kick it Amish style with Mary. Ian decides he and the cockblocker are in love. James Marsden put on a sweater vest and came out of the closet, and on New Year's Eve, cockblocker finally retired and made a man out of Ian. Discuss.
Now in the movie, they
You
call
missed
it
so much of that
Twat
movie. Yeah.
It's Twat Blocker. That was one of the best bits because he's like, she doesn't even have what? All right. Twat blocking, professor.
There's nothing not funny about
Oh,
this movie.
dude.
Nothing not funny about
James,
this movie.
what's his name? James what?
James Marsden.
Marsden
Cyclops.
sells this freaking movie.
Oh, yeah.
He is the freaking cherry on the top. This movie's already funny.
Yeah.
But then you add him into the mix in this like hyper aggro freaking homophobic dude who's
He's
just
so masculine. His name is Rex.
his name is Rex. He drives a freaking badass car. It just
Basically drives the General Lee, right?
yeah, he drives
yeah.
the General Lee.
With
But
a personalized license plate?
yes.
No fat chicks.
No fat chicks on the
Amazing.
back.
It's amazing.
It's his character is the best part of this
Yeah,
movie.
and it turns out that like the reason he's like so hyper masculine and like such a douche is because like he's like
Hiding.
trying to repress his.
He's
Yeah.
closeted.
Yeah. He's basically gay, and so like he's trying to overcompensate for that by being like super masculine. And throughout the movie, like he keeps accusing his little brother Ian of being gay. And the way he does it, like he just obviously doesn't understand what
Oh.
turns people gay.
Dude, the whole conversation.
I think I might be getting gay.
Listen, I have to quote this movie. I don't know if I should or not, but whatever. We'll see what happens. But when he's in the car, he's got his brother in the car. He's taking him to work, and he's like, "Listen, man, I'm gonna ask you something. You gotta be straight with me. You queer?" Just dead straight face, and his brother's like, "What? No, what are you talking about? Ah, you freaking liar. Whatever. You just got to straight say, no, man.
He's like, you said what?
Yeah. Like, you got to just deny that shit. And then he starts talking about, he's like, you like that freaking shiny cock, don't you? He just freaking slaps you in the face, huh?
Tell me how it happens, expert. Fucking cock expert. Cockspert. Hey, what do you like better, the shaft or the balls?
That whole bit, I swear to God, it's got to be ad-libbed, but it was so freaking funny, dude. That whole bit is hilarious.
I love this movie.
This movie's amazing.
Yeah.
We want to hear something funny. So this movie is actually based on a book. It's a young adult coming-of-age book called All the Way.
What?
And it doesn't have any of like the raunchy humor or like anything like the movie has. But yeah, this is the only movie we're talking about this week. It's actually based on a book.
Have you read Running Man?
No.
It's a book.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I read it. I'm envisioning the book Running Man and the movie Running Man being very similar to the book Sex Drive and the movie Sex Drive. It's like, how the fuck did you put these two together? Like, it was a loose idea. Yeah, very loose.
So the character
was the donut with the giant dildo? Was that in the book?
No. But let's talk about that. So Ian works at this donut shop at the mall. And part of his job is like he's got to put on this donut costume, and it's a Mexican donut.
He's got a sombrero on
and like a big old mustache. So like he has to walk around.
This is this racist stereotype donut.
It's just, what is it, like Senor Donut or something? But like he has to walk around and give away these coupons for the donut store to try to drum up business. And you know, like most people in costume, like the local like teenagers kind of like to
make fun of them. Yeah, mess with them.
And Tom, you want to tell them what happens?
Well, they say they take a suction cup dildo. It's a 12-foot long black balls attached dildo, and just stick it to the front of this guy.
What does Lance call it? He's like, man, it looks like a tree trunk. But he walks up, he's walking around, he's trying to hand out these flowers to people. And he's just got this schlong.
He's got this huge dildo.
Freaking walking around with it on. And he walks up to this dude who's sitting next to his daughter at this bench. And the daughter's
like 4-year-old daughter.
Like this little girl. And he's like, hey, mister, I've got something for your daughter. And he's trying to hand him a freaking flyer for like a free donut. And he's got this thing freaking hanging right in front of their faces. The dude gets up and just freaking haymakers him right in the freaking eyeball of the thing. And he falls down the escalator. It's just, God, it's so awkwardly funny.
It's funny as hell, man.
Yeah.
We watched this together, and I had a blast.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. and the funny thing is like Lance removes the dildo, and as they're walking, he gets rid of it by just putting it in some random lady's like shopping bag as she like walks by.
Well, he's the coolest kid in the world.
Oh, he is amazing.
Yeah. He's the
so
ultimate,
suave.
Like, he's not the sidekick.
No.
Like, he is the boss. Like, this guy's
Clark Duke, who was in Hot Tub Time Machine and stuff like that. He plays this character, and he's kind of like the chick whisperer, even though like he's not like a handsome guy. Like every girl like wants to be with him.
Well, he's a douchebag.
He's a magician. What is that? What was that? You mentioned a pickup artist.
Yeah.
It's all that negging. Negging was a thing at this time.
Well,
he was the negging master.
He says you have to treat women like crap so that they'll like you.
That was a thing. Yeah, like the mid 2000s.
I remember that show.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the show ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, because everybody started being a douchebag.
Yeah, and it's all over.
It's just all over.
Everyone's wearing like eyeliner and goggles.
But it's funny because Felicia's like, no, you don't get women by doing that. And he's like, it works on you. And she's like, yeah, you're right.
Jude, as the ambassador of estrogen, is that accurate?
Oh, God, I hate this movie.
What?
I hate this movie.
Wow.
No way.
I don't think it's funny. I think Lance is just gross the whole time. I hate Felicia. I hate everything about it.
Why?
Oh, I love
really
Felicia.
sorry.
Why? I can't believe that.
I just don't think it's funny. I feel like the other two movies that we talked about are so funny, and this just takes it too far into the realm of gross, and I can't find that funny. Like everything in the trailer, and she's like about to shit on
have you ever had a
him,
peppermint patty?
and everybody just looks sweaty and unshowered.
We got to set that up. So at a certain point, Lance picks up this girl who works at a gas station who's crying, and she takes him back to her like trailer house where she lives with her parents. And while he's in the bedroom with her, Ian and Felicia are in the front with like her parents, and like the mom's like, y'all want a can of purple? And, and the dad has his ball sack just hanging out of his shorts.
It's just he's sitting there spread open on his freaking recliner chair, and it's just the two kids are sitting there like trying to be polite and talk to these old people, and you just see this wrinkly sack just sitting there.
What's funny is so like they made up a prosthetic ball sack for this guy to use, and it turns out that like
tell me that wasn't his actual ball sack.
That was his actual ball sack because his balls were just so big and droopy that they were like, oh, we'll just use those.
Oh no.
Jude, does this change your mind about this film?
Oh, that's
so much
so
worse.
dirty.
Jude, that is, get you a can of purple.
Get a can of purple.
That's got to be a rumor. That can't be real.
No, that was confirmed.
Can they actually do that?
Sure.
Isn't that, yeah, but that's like an NC-17, isn't it?
It wasn't an erect penis.
He wasn't playing with them. They were just kind of sitting outside of his pant leg.
Some old man balls.
Oh no, I watched the unrated version. I thought that was a prosthetic.
Nope.
Oh no,
those are real balls.
They hung on those for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But while Lance is in the back with their daughter, she keeps wanting to do crazier and crazier sex acts.
Oh, the freaking.
She's got him handcuffed to the
bed frame. Yeah, and they're sitting there. He's like, "You ever had it?" Well, she had like a southern accent too. You ever have a peppermint fatty? And he's like, "No, let's do that." And she eats a York peppermint patty and then goes down on him. And he's like, "Oh my god, do you have like a PhD in cock?"
She takes an Altoid and he says,
"Was it
that's
Altoid?
Curiously strong."
Yes.
That's the joke.
Maybe they changed it.
Because Altoids are curiously
strong.
Yeah.
Because Jude's upset the whole time.
She's just sitting there going,
writing angry notes, just like, sexist.
It's so gross.
Well, the rolling brownout was a gross part.
Okay, but before that, like, she's gross. She gets off work at the gas station, goes back to her trailer.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's why it's funny.
You want to hear something even grosser?
Okay, I'll just stop talking.
So the girl who played that part with the rolling brownout girl, that was the director's sister.
Oh my god!
So, like, he was having to direct her like half naked to do that stuff. He said it was like one of the most awkward things he's ever done in his career.
Yeah, I doubt they had a freaking intimacy coach on set for that one.
Like, you know what?
I don't think they had those then.
Yeah. I got a role just for you.
You're gonna take a shit on this guy's chest.
Yeah.
But he starts freaking out there. He's like, nothing brown. And he starts getting all freaked out and scared.
And like the way that she, like, you can only see like her shoulders, and the way that she like adjust, it looks like she's hunkering down in order to squeeze out a poop.
That's what I do.
She hovers.
Bear down.
Even before that, it's just like this trailer in the middle of the day, and I didn't see, like, I'm sure it doesn't have central air. It's just gross and hot and warm, and it's broad daylight.
That is definitely.
It is just gross.
That is definitely the grossest part of the movie. I will give you that. That is gross.
This whole movie's gross.
I don't think so.
The only thing I think is funny, and this is just me. You guys are entitled to enjoy it and love it, and I don't want to poop on your, I don't want a rolling brownout on your parade. But the only thing I think is funny is the Rumspringa scene.
You don't think that giant dildo stuck to that donut funny?
Come on. When he walks out and he needs a ride because he locked his clothes in the thing, and he's talking to his brother, he's like, fuck off, donut. And he's like, it's me, man. I need a ride. He's like, oh, gosh, you look like a Mexican butthole.
Yeah.
Put that shit in the trunk.
What about when Cyclops rips the blankets off and he's naked from the waist down and he's trying to get his boner?
Because he had a wet dream the night before.
And then the new
and
mom comes in.
The stepmother keeps getting injured because of his experimentation.
He won't hug her. And she's just like, well, in time, I hope you find love in your heart for me.
She goes down to the basement and he's making out with his boxing bag. And she's just like, oh my God.
It's so good.
And she slips on his cum rag and breaks her arm.
It's not his cum rag. It's his cum-filled underwear.
Because in his wet dream, he thinks Miss Tasty has come to his house and she's underneath the blankets. And he's like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. And then he starts lifting weights. And in his dream, he's got a barbell.
Yeah, he's kind of catfishing this Miss Tasty girl on the internet by pretending to be like this big, like,
he's pretending to be his brother. He just puts his face on his brother's pictures.
His little brother? His little brother, the stud? The 14-year-old banging 17-year-olds?
Too. Smell my fingers.
Okay.
Gross.
Dude,
maybe this is too male centric. This
The
is
For me,
ambat-
it is.
this movie just
See,
doesn't
I
have the
don't-
estrogen in it.
I don't see this movie being any more gross than freaking Vondersex from Eurotrip. Like
I just
I don't think so either.
it's at the same level of
I
like crude humor.
Disagree. I think that Lucy Lawless is hilarious in it. And like she's just wearing like lingerie, and then when it's like clear they're gonna like fuck this guy up, she rips it off and she's wearing like an S&M outfit. And like her character is funny. Like there isn't any there.
Seth Green's funny.
Seth Green is
funny.
hilarious.
Seth Green is the best part of this.
Yeah, Seth Green's great in
I
this.
hate Felicia.
I hate Seth Green, and he's great in this. Love him.
Oh, it's so good because he plays this Amish dude.
It's
who-
funny.
Ezekiel, but he doesn't. He knows about
He's
the
so
real
dry.
world. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
so dry. And Lance gets in the buggy and he's with him, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, we met this girl on a computer," and he's like, "What's a computer?" "Oh well, it's like, you know, this thing with a screen, and you know, you hook up to the internet." And he's like, "What's the internet?" And he just plays that the entire time.
It's funny.
And then he's like, "I'm just messing with you, bro. I know what all that stuff is. It's all good." And he goes in and he's like, "Yeah, you know, I really miss Vegas. Vegas was a blast." He goes on this like story. I think it's all ad-libbed. He just goes on this crazy story about Vegas. And then they're like, "What do you miss most about the real world out there?" And he's like, sarcasm.
And like the entire rest of the movie,
And
he's
butt
just
fucking.
he's just sarcasm. Sarcasm and butt fucking.
And the whole rest of the movie, he's just completely messing with these guys. Like, "Oh yeah, no, that's what you say to people when they do you favors. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
That's all I want though. You know, I just fixed your awesome freaking car completely for free, but you don't owe me anything. It's all good. Just a
So
thank you.
funny.
Thank you's all I need."
And then when he's like, you know, there are some chores that need done around here. And they're like, ooh, we really got to get back on the road.
He's like, yeah, of course you do. You got to get back on the road because you don't want to hang out here and do chores.
And then it turns out he did the same thing to Fall Out Boy because their bus had car trouble. So that's why they were there playing Rumspringa.
Yeah. Rumspringa!
It's funny because Seth Green was actually friends with Fall Out Boy, and he's the reason why they decided to do the movie. 'Cause he just called them up and he's like, "Hey, you guys want to do this movie with
That's
me?"
a good bit.
This cameo is not as good as Matt Damon's.
This is true.
If I said guess the over under on Seth Green's net worth, and I said $400 million, what would you take?
Oh, he's got his fingers in a lot of pies.
Oh,
there, huh?
yeah. He
I know,
he
but-
does voice work for just a
Sure.
million different things.
Yeah, but if I said
400 million?
if I put it at 400 million,
Over.
you take the over.
I'll take it over.
Even at 400 million,
Yeah.
he's never starred in anything.
It's okay.
Okay,
He's also a Buffy alumni.
he's also Buffy. Did not star in that either.
He's probably produced a shit ton of things.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's like
yeah.
He's like a.
Do you know?
Yeah, he's like a $500 million guy.
Yeah.
yeah. It's insane. He's 3'7".
He's a ginger.
He's a ginger. He only plays like sidekicks, background characters. I mean, he's been Chris Griffin for 95 years, but you would never know it was him, and he might have one line a week, right? That robot chicken, I don't get it, but the dude is well off. He is done right.
He's funny.
He's done right.
He knows humor.
Yeah.
He gets it.
Oh yeah, he's a funny guy.
Speaking of knowing humor, the two freaking guys.
Oh, my God.
The two brothers. What's up?
So,
What's up?
you want to go out?
You wanna
Wanna go out?
You
wanna
want to
go
tell
out?
people who you're talking about?
No. So there's these
hey,
two
you wanna
kids.
party?
You want to party?
Yeah,
Where do you
I am
live?
at
Where do you
the
live?
party.
What's your address?
What's your address? Where do you live?
What's your social security number?
You want to see my dick? It's huge. You can see it from space.
We were just fucking that girl. We fucked her so hard.
It's so ridiculous.
It is.
But it's just these two random side characters in this movie that like are around, I guess, in this area, and they have like the most aggressive like pickup game ever.
Well, it's impressive.
It's it's an impressive.
They're good at opening, but
Yeah.
they can't close.
They can't close.
Can't
Which is
close.
funny because that's the whole joke of the whole movie. Because at the end, when they finally get the chance to close with Miss Tasty, who's
Yeah.
just trying to rip them off, when she's finally like, "Yeah, let's get in the back and take off your clothes," they freak out. They don't know what to do.
Just roll out their
They just
window.
roll their
Never
window up
happened before.
and drive away.
I'm like a dog. I'm like a dog chasing a tire.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do when I caught it.
So the car that those two guys use, which is like this green race car, that was Paul Walker's car from the first Fast and Furious.
I
movie.
figured as much. Yeah. What did he say? He's like, "I refuse to lose to a car that looks like a trapper keeper."
I have never seen a Fast and Furious movie.
What?
Not a single one.
Not even the first one?
No.
Streets closed, pizza boy. Like, come on, bro.
It seemed really stupid, and it still
It's
seems,
just Point Break
It
with
still
cars.
seems really stupid.
It's just Point Break with cars.
There's a lot of like kind of vehicle humor in this movie, and one of the things I love is like when Rex is trying to like track down like where his brother stole his car. he keeps riding on this motorcycle and wiping out. Like, he's like a terrible motorcycle rider.
Well, I think one of the funniest bits in this movie, the one that I love the most, is when he has the dream that he thinks his brother stole his car, right? He wakes up and he's like, he starts freaking out. He drives his motorcycle to his house. He's freaking like hauling ass in this motorcycle. And instead of like parking it and getting off, he just lets it go down the street.
He Fast and Furious leaps off of it.
He jumps off.
Keeps going.
It keeps going.
He lands on his feet like a cat in the driveway.
And he walks up and he picks up the garage door. He rolls it up to like his chin area. And he's like, I'm going to open this door and my beautiful judge is going to be gleaming, just sitting there staring at me. There's no way that freaking piece of shit stole my car. And he rolls it up and it's gone. And he just freaks out. He starts slamming his fist up against the garage door. You cocksucker! And he starts freaking banging the shit out of it. And then the dude is walking his dog. The neighbor walks over. He's like, hey man, why don't you get your motorcycle out of the freaking street? And he turns around and he just runs the dude down. It's so funny.
It's funny.
It's goddamn.
I love Rex's interactions with his dad, where like the dad comes in and he's like, guess what, kids? I just proposed to your stepmom.
Yeah.
And they just like chest bump.
And they freaking fist. Yeah. It's
great.
That whole
and then once Rex comes out as gay, he's like so nice and like well behaved. He's wearing like a sweater.
Yeah.
And the dad almost flips the table when he finds out.
He's like, at Thanksgiving, Dad wasn't too happy about it, but by Christmas he got over it and he was fine. It was like a voiceover at the end of the movie.
It's like, oh, a juicer. That's nice.
Now I need some fruit.
Now I need some fruit.
Well, do I? It's just so stupid.
And Rex has the best line in this. So like when he finally catches up with his brother, and the brother's pretending to be to have homosexual urges, and that's why he wants to go see Miss Tasty.
Yeah.
And Rex just has this line. He's like, "Okay, man, go protect your chili hole."
And he goes, yeah, you go out there and you have sex with that girl as God intended, but nothing in the butt.
I just love like chili hole. Where did that come from?
I swear to God.
I hope all of his lines just ad libs.
So
half this freaking
it feels ad libbed.
Half this movie's got to be ad libbed.
Yeah, I like it.
Has to be.
Yeah, I like it.
Even when they go to the the fair that they run into, and they get like the
abstinence crew.
They're like super smoking hot cheerleaders who get undressed literally right off the edge of the stage.
Those are hookers for Jesus.
Hookers for Jesus.
That is a real thing.
So
a real thing.
So like Ian gets called up on stage for this like abstinence thing because he got roped in by this girl that he met at one of the carnival games.
And Lance is like, dude, she's got sex written all over her.
Oh, she did though.
Yeah.
And so like they bring out this girl who's pregnant and she's going through this heartbreaking story of how she got knocked up because she had premarital sex. And the entire time Ian's like watching like these girls get undressed backstage and he gets like this huge boner that's obvious to everyone. And the woman running the abstinence
the big
thing,
black lady.
Yeah. She's like, oh, is this woman's tale of struggle and hardship turning you on?
Yeah. You're going to stand center stage and take an oath of abstinence right here. And it's just... the awkwardness of the situations that this kid finds himself in is what the humor is based on. And he nails it because he looks so weak.
He's such a wiener.
Such a little.
Yeah. And his brother is like the alpha male. Yeah. The interaction's hilarious.
Oh, dude.
To see it.
Because I've dealt with situations like that. Like they're on the screen. They're trying to hook the dirt bike up to the trailer. Right. And his brother's like, hey, put some freaking gumption into that, man. Stretch that freaking cord on there. And he plays nice for just like 30 seconds. He's like, yeah, man, I'm your big brother, dude. Whatever you need, just go ahead and ask me. He's like, hey, can I borrow the car? And he freaking unhooks the bungee cord, just smacks him right in the face. Like, I have lived that situation with my older brother.
Honestly, it's very brotherly.
Yes.
That's real brother stuff, right?
Yes.
That's why I don't get this movie.
Yeah,
I don't have a brother.
Yeah.
I think so too.
That might be it.
I think it's shifted a little too far one way. Like there's no
girl power.
No girl power.
The only girl power in this is the love interest.
The twat blocker.
The twat blocker.
Well, I guess Miss Tasty could be
but she's like a con artist though.
I guess that's better than being a
just feel
pushover.
like everybody's really one dimensional and everybody's a dirt bag.
Yeah.
Like even Ian, he's a dirt bag.
Yeah.
He steals his brother's car.
That is true.
He's leaping from will she have sex with me? Can I fuck her? Okay, I'll keep going with Miss Tasty.
Listen,
Can I fuck her?
think
He's
you
desperate to just put
Do you
his dick in
do you
somebody.
understand?
You don't understand
18-year-old boys.
You don't understand anything.
Listen,
This is our movie.
the testosterone injection you get when you're 18 and your body goes, okay, here we go, kids. It's freaking bananas.
Yeah.
There's only one thing on your brain, and that's it. And that's what Ian's going through.
Okay, but this is a weird thing to wrap a movie completely around and
No, I get
ask
it.
people to get on board with.
What are you talking about? The last movie we just talked about, he traveled the entirety of Europe to get banged.
To bang a girl he thought was a guy.
Yeah. Who he didn't even know what she looked like.
Yeah.
But at least it was funny along the way.
At least there was a donut with a 12-inch black dildo stuck to the front of it.
Come on, Jude.
The climax of this movie.
Climax.
So like Miss Tasty, when she steals Ian's car, she also takes all of his clothes to like leave him stranded. So he's forced to dress up in the Senior Donut outfit. And he gets his hands on this gun that her boyfriend, Miss Tasty's partner in crime, had. And at the end of the movie, he's just this donut.
He's in a donut.
Mexican donut with a gun.
freaking revolver.
It's a big gun, too.
Yeah. And then when somebody tries to, like, Ian, calm down, man, we'll handle it. He's like, no, I've got this. And
He's still using the mouth.
he's still using the mouth. It's so ridiculous, dude.
So funny.
Oh, God. All right.
Dude, I'm sorry.
I can't believe you didn't like this movie. I never would have thought.
I was sitting right over there, falling out of my chair laughing.
was.
Apparently the whole time she's just like,
I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I had to rewatch it the next day.
Yeah, she fell asleep while we were watching it and having a good time.
I thought we were having a great time. I was laughing my ass off.
I wish I could have joined you guys, man.
She was just mad to sleep.
I wasn't mad. I just don't like it.
Just kept spraying her dog. Just kept like that.
Sit down, Russell.
That's John Leguizamo now. We renamed him.
That's right. You did rename my dog.
It's John Leguizamo Terrier.
Steve Buscemi Terrier.
Yeah, he looks more like a John Leguizamo.
He does look like Steve Buscemi.
Or Steve Buscemi. Yeah. Yeah, he's not a Russell.
That's Steve Buscemi.
Russell Crowe Terrier.
Russell Crowe Terrier.
Oh, he does look like Steve Buscemi.
He does like Steve Buscemi.
I'm going to put a
actually.
picture of Steve Buscemi and Russell right here.
It's pretty spot on.
Spot
He's a
on.
very handsome boy.
Oh, boy. Okay. Hello, fellow kids.
So when we meet Miss Tasty,
Yeah.
she comes up to the car and I kept thinking like, oh my God, this actress has the worst Southern accent. And then it turns out she's like, just take your clothes off, asshole. And she's got no accent. She was just putting all of that on like to entice because country girls are like, I guess, cuter. And
Meh.
It can
yeah,
be.
and so I was like relieved when she just started talking like normally.
yeah.
Did you
Like a
recognize
person.
Miss Tasty from anything else?
Yeah, I know she's somebody famous. I can't remember who it is. Thank you for knowing this, Matt. Who is she?
No, yeah. Please tell me. I don't know.
So she was the girl from Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's right, yeah.
She was prettier in that movie,
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
for sure.
What's better, Tucker and Dale versus Evil or Zombievers?
Tucker and Dale.
Zombievers.
Zombievers better.
Yeah, Zombievers.
Zombievers.
I gotta go with Zombievers.
That is a
What?
That is a special movie, man.
I mean, it's goofier,
He says, "I want to hear all about that."
but it's
I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That's a real Sophie's choice.
Tucker and Dale. 100%.
Tucker and Dale's really good.
It's amazing.
Yes,
Zombievers is like a spoof movie.
but on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Zombievers has Bill Burr and John Mayer.
It's
in
the
it.
greatest scene ever. I want to hear all about that. He's like, he goes, you want to get a beer? Yeah, I want to get a beer. You want to watch the game? Yeah, I want to watch the game. It's that gay sex thing. It's just really hard.
With the chili hole.
All right, let's do final thoughts on Sex Drive. For me, this is a easily 4.5, 5-star comedy, sex romp comedy for me. I love the aggressive nature of it. Yes, it's over the top. Yes, it's gross. That's what makes it funny. It's absolutely bananas. I love all the characters. I know Jude thinks they're kind of one-dimensional, but I don't care. That's fine. Rex is by far the best character in the entire movie. He is so abusive and hilarious. It reminds me of my older brother. And I think that's why I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like I was that guy.
Yes. I was Ian in that scene where he's like, what are you doing? What do you got under here? You're freaking big chubby, huh? And he pulls the blankets out and he's just sitting there.
It's hilarious.
Shit, like flashbacks. So it has a special place for me.
And that's a good memory for you?
It's just because it's funny in the movie.
It's relatable.
Like it's relatable. I didn't like it growing up, but watching the movie, it's hilarious.
Like you're not wrong that this is such a male centric movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, like, what guy has made it to adulthood without one of his friends saying like, "Smell my fingers"?
Oh yeah.
It happens to every guy as they're growing.
That was
up.
a thing in high school, man. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah. It was.
Like, you went on a date with a chick.
It's gross. Yes, it's gross. It's,
you got nowhere.
I'm not defending it, Jude, because it is gross, but it did happen. That's for sure.
I mean, that's stuff that guys do as they're growing up.
So, did you guys? I don't know if it was in this version or the version I watched only, but it was like an extended scene where they did 2 takes, but they just left them both in. So the brother walks up and he's like, "Yeah, smell my fingers." And Ian goes, "Are you sure you got the right side?"
Yeah.
And his brother goes, "Oh, hold on, here are these ones." Yeah. So the other
that same scene.
and he goes. And then the brother walks away, and you can hear the production team in the background laughing. And the guy goes, "Damn kids!" It was so goofy. But yeah, this is one of. Oh God, I can't believe that's a real.
What's a real ball?
I can't. I'm not looking at it. I'll never see this scene the same way again.
What color are they?
I don't know.
I kind of want a can of purple.
It is a can of purple.
And the drink is actually called purple.
Called purple. I don't even think I can pull a clip of that scene in the freaking video. But anyway,
you can put someone.
I'll put something over it.
Please don't put my face over it.
No, I won't. I usually just do the logo over it, whatever. It's 4.5, damn near a 5.
Easy.
It's hilarious from start to finish. Yeah. Rex is amazing. He's so funny. The freaking car is awesome. Mm-hmm. The scene where they're filling up the freaking the radiator and the chick's peeing in it, and the Christian family comes driving by with the Jesus fish on the back. God damn it, that's hilarious, man.
And she instantly ends up on a website.
Yeah, she's on like some kind of freaking blog.
It was a peeing website too. It was rarely inappropriately named. It was like, oh,
she's got like a little like star over like her vag. Where she's like peeing.
It's so ridiculous,
hilarious.
Jude's like, "God damn it." You really hate this movie, don't you?
I really do.
Oh my God. All right, so Tom, give it a rating. Final thoughts.
Oh, I love it. Out of these, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite for a lot of reasons. One being that no one's seen this movie for some weird reason, and I love movies like that where it's like a fantastic movie that nobody's seen.
Yeah,
love it. After talking with Jude, I mean, I sat next to her and watched this. I was under the full impression that she was having a blast.
I was asleep.
That's how into it I was. I've seen this movie 100 times. It's really funny. I love the characters. I love the story arc. It's funny. It's funny, man. I want more donuts with racist stereotypes and boners. I want that in more movies.
I'm going to get you a suction cup dildo for
I don't want
the next
that.
holiday. And you can just put it wherever you want.
He wants a
It'll
donut
be brown.
costume.
I'm going to put it on like the passenger door of your car. So like you might not notice it for a week. And it's just there.
It's just hitting people's cars as you're passing by.
It's just flopping in the wind. It's semi-rigid. It's just
off your little tiny hamster car.
Yeah,
it's a giant Yaris.
My car is so little. I had to give Tom a ride the other day too.
Oh yeah.
Was the seat still back from when I was in it?
No, I fixed it.
Moved it. Yeah, she moved
I fixed it.
She put it forward. All right, Jude. Is this a 1-star crap fest for you?
The only thing keeping this from being a 1-star crap fest for me is the Rumspringa scene.
Okay.
Rumspringa!
Yeah, that one girl who's just like throwing up and screaming Rumspringa and woo-hooing. She's the best part.
Did we ever
movie.
explain what Rumspringa is?
Well, I mean,
people know.
I don't know. It's like
it's
a
that
Amish.
It's that ska band.
It's an Amish holiday.
No, it's not a holiday.
No. It's a rite of passage.
I know.
It's once you turn a certain age. I'm guessing it's 21. They let you go into the real world for an indeterminate amount of time.
I think it's usually like 3 weeks or 3 months or something like that.
Just to like.
I think it's as long as you want, and then either you come back or you don't.
It's like go be a heathen.
Well, no, but it's like go see if this is better.
So it's 1.5.
So this is I'm gonna give it
half-star for Rumspringa.
Sure. I was actually going to give it 2 stars.
Okay.
Because I see what you guys like about it. And I know that what I hate about it is what you like about it. And that just comes down to preference.
Oh, yeah. Because you hate that like hyper aggro
it's
male.
So aggressive that I don't find it funny at all.
I remember saying that you had to deal with people like that in high school or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question. Do you like the movie Snatch?
With Brad Pitt?
Yeah. No, the other one.
I don't think I
X-rated
do.
one.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, most women hate that movie.
Really?
Yeah. Dudes love it.
Oh, I love that movie.
I know I've seen
Women
it,
do
but I
not
can't
like it.
really remember anything about it.
I've
so I
shown
don't
that movie
think
to
so.
many women, and they are not happy.
What's the director of that movie?
That's Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, it's got
Guy
Ritchie.
Ritchie? We need to do a Guy Ritchie week.
Hell yeah.
I would hate that.
Hey, you know what?
We do layer cake.
Vader can have your spot. Tom can come over. And we do a
Well,
male
how about
freaking
Vader can have his own spot?
We'll do layer cake,
whatever.
and we'll do
We'll talk about it.
lock, stock.
All right. Lock, stock, and two smoking barrels?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Kadish, final thoughts. Give it a rating. Sex Drive.
So I can't remember last time I saw this movie, but like it was almost
it was like last Thursday, man.
it was almost like a first watch for me. And watching it with Tom, because he was so into this film.
I was pretty drunk.
My man.
Yeah. We had just got off from a hockey game.
Yeah.
We won with like 5 seconds to go.
Nice.
I was on another level when I got
Yeah,
there.
we were on a high when we came home.
I got to stop going to Golden Knights games. Every time I go, they lose.
Seriously.
Yeah, so like watching this with Tom, like he was just so filled with joy the entire time, especially like every time the donut with the big dildo was on screen.
That goddamn donut gets me every time.
So like I really enjoyed this movie far more than I thought I would. Yeah, like this was probably my second favorite of the week because it was really, really funny. I got to give it 4 chili holes out of 5.
Damn. Yes.
The way to Tom's heart is through a donut with a dildo on it.
Yeah.
And a big Mexican mustache and sombrero.
It's the racist implications.
Can we just make a T-shirt with the donut with the dildo on it and give it to Tom? Just a one-off, one T-shirt.
Yeah.
Senor Donut.
Can we get
It
this
just says
made?
Mexican butthole on it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like Shutterfly trying to get this made for me. Like,
We're doing it. All right.
On the back is just like a circle, but it's chili.
oh, it's a chili hole.
The chili hole. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, that's it for Sex Drive. I had a blast. I highly suggest checking it out, especially if you're a dude and you grew up with an older brother. It freaking works, man. It's so funny. That's it. Tom, where can they find you on the socials, man?
You can dig around if you want. I'm on Instagram, Big T2681. Come say hi. Like my food pictures.
I'm gonna get you on Discord.
We tried last night. It was a failure.
Give me your phone after this. We're gonna get you on there. Jude, where can they find you at?
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram, Discord, and TikTok.
And you're doing trivia nights for club members,
we're
right?
going to be doing trivia nights for club members once a month.
Right
It's
on.
going to be on Wednesdays.
saltynerclub.com. Sign up. Kadish, where can they find you?
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter. Kadishbooks.com will take you to my Amazon page. And be sure to go to saltynerd.com/rate, RATE, and leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts because we need 200 of those suckers to get officially accredited as movie reviewers over on Rotten Tomatoes. So anything that you guys can do to help us achieve that goal of 200 5-star ratings, we would really appreciate it.
If you guys want to support us, go to saltynerclub.com. Our club members get access to an absolute ton of content, and we do special things with them all the time. We always take into consideration our club members, what we can offer them for value. So if you want to jump in there, you get special access to a lot of things. It's too many for me to list right now because I want to get this over with. All right, that's it for the podcast today. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Don't forget, like and subscribe. What did you think about these movies? Which one was your favorite? Comment below, and we'll catch you guys next week. Stay salty.